Alright, so for today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Knipex 0828 145 needle nose combination pliers. Now, I have taken a look at a similar pair of pliers like these here on the channel before. I believe the model number on those were the 0826 145s. It's pretty much the same exact pair of pliers, except these are not going to be chrome plated. These are going to be just the standard black oxide or black anodized finished ones, so they are going to be a little bit cheaper than the chrome plated version. So we're going to go ahead and start off here by taking a look at the handles. Now these are going to be the VDE or the 1000 volt rated handles. So these are going to protect you up to 1000 volts. And they are in that typical yellow and red color scheme for the VDE handles. And you have your model number, which is printed on them, and Knipex being Knipex, generally a majority of their tools are made in Germany. So you're going to see that here on the outside of the handle, and you're also going to see it on the inside of the handle where it was made. And then right here you have the year that the tool was produced, these ones being produced in 2023. So at the time of posting this video, this pair of pliers is roughly 2 years old. And then coming down to here, you have all these certifications and the standards that this tool meets and or exceeds to prove that it will protect you up to 1000 volts. And like I've said in previous videos, I believe Knipex tests them up to 10,000 volts, but they are rated for 1000 volts. And then you have some more information here on the inside of the handle, some warnings, the IEC code for insulated tools, and then 1000 volt, and then you're made in Germany. And then I also believe that is a timestamp for when I believe the handle of the tool was made. You're going to have that on both of the handles. And that's pretty much it for the handles. If you come to the side, you got the Knipex name in red, surrounded by this yellow. I just like this color scheme. And me personally, I do like the Comfort Grip, or I shouldn't say Comfort Grip, but I like the 1000 volts rated handles over just the standard dipped and Comfort Grip handles. Then you got your 1000 volt ratings here, and that's pretty much it. You're going to have made in Germany laser etched onto the surface of the back of the plier, and then you're also going to have your model number. And then you have the Knipex name, which is a part of the forging of the plier itself, which is nice and stamped in there. And then you have your small rivet, which is a little bit far away from the cutting knives, but it is not too far away, so you are going to be able to cut through some decent conductors. And then coming up to here, you have a fairly decent sized cutting knives here on these pair of pliers. Now, you're not going to be cutting, large conductors with it. You're not going to be cutting, 6 and 8 wire conductors with it. I would say about the max you maybe want to cut with this is about a 10 gauge wire, 10 gauge stranded, or 10 gauge solid wire. It's probably going to be the max size wire you are going to want to cut with these. And then coming up to here, like most combination pliers, you have these teeth that are around in a circle, and that makes it a little bit easier for you if you're, let's say you want to grip a bolt, you hit a bolt you're trying to tighten on or maybe loosen up. It kind of lets you use those teeth to bite onto there, so if you wanted to tighten this on, you could have something that holds the bolts. I would say that this bolt here is probably about the max size. You can kind of see, if I zoom the camera out here, you can kind of see that it's kind of awkward to hold in your hand with that size bolt, so that's probably about the max you are going to want to go if you're going to be using these pliers for that. And then you do have some nice parallel teeth on the top and bottom jaws, so if you needed to grip and or pull something, you could use those. And then you also have a little bit of you have a little channel here cut out in the pliers, so if you needed to maybe fold and or loop a wire, you could use that without having to worry about scuffing and or scratching up the surface of the copper. And then another thing that is useful for, maybe you're trying to pound in a nail or something, and you don't want to use your fingers, you can use a pair of pliers to hold that nail and smack it in with a hammer. That's pretty much it for the detail on these, and I guess I'll say when I'll get to the functionality on it. So the main thing about these is they're a pair of pliers, and you're going to want to know if they can cut some wire. So we just got some 12 gauge stranded wire right here, and like I said, 10 gauge is probably the max you're going to want to do, so you can maybe cut 2 12 gauge wires, probably about the max you would want to do. So we might as well just go ahead and cut through those. And these little pliers don't have an issue cutting through 2 of those at once. I do have some larger conductor wire here. I think this is either 6 AWG, and you can get the 6 AWG in there. You're just going to have to use a lot of force to cut through it, and you have to squeeze down multiple times to do it, but it would do it. I obviously don't recommend you do it on a daily basis. If you're going to be cutting 6 AWG, you probably want something with a little bit more length to it. So we'll go ahead and set that off to the side and clear all this out. And the cutting knives, we're going to see if they are sharp enough to strip, not just cut. We're going to see if I can strip off this insulation from this 12 gauge strand of wire. I generally like to go around a few times, and boom, we are able to pull off that insulation and strip that conductor if I was trying to terminate the wire for something. And then if I didn't like it, I can easily cut it off. And then, like I said, you could use the that little notch there on the pliers that's cut out if you need to fold and or loop a wire. So let's say you're hooking up some outlets and you want to make a loop to go around it. You could easily make a loop with that, and then you could tighten it up too with that too. If you line it up, you could tighten up that loop, and you are pretty much ready to go. Or if you don't like how you did it, just cut it off and start over. So that's pretty much it for these guys. Like I said, we did take a look at these on the chrome plated version. I think it's been close to 2 years, and or it's over 2 years by the time that this video goes live, that we've taken a look at the chrome plated pair of these. Now, if you've been following the channel for some time, you know that I've been trying to get my hands on pretty much every pair of insulated pliers that Knipex has to offer. So this is just another pair that I added to my ever so growing collection of these insulated pliers from Knipex, and might as well make a video on it while I'm at it. So with that being said, that's pretty much all I have for this video. As always, there will be a link down in the description below if you want to find out some more information about these pliers. And there will also be some retailers down below if you would like to pick these pliers up for yourself, have them shipped to your front door. But with that being said, that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching.